I was drinking my coffee at a coffee shop downtown when my phone made a noise. It was from my home cameras and security stuff. The video showed a lady named Linda typing numbers into the lock on my private gate. She acted like she owned my house, or something. She didn't even look around to see if anyone saw her. Right there in the middle of the day, she smiled at two kids walking behind her and said, "Don't worry, it's okay." The gate made a beep sound and opened up. 3 people I didn't know walked onto my property like it was a playground. My hand squeezed the phone so tight I almost broke it. That gate wasn't just a cool door, it was like my castle wall to keep out all the crazy stuff. And now Linda, who thinks she's the boss of our neighborhood, gave my secret numbers to anyone who wanted them. I didn't know her very well, but right then, I knew one thing. She just started a fight and I wasn't going to give up. My name is Ethan Carter. I make video games, and I like being alone and having control over stuff on a computer, not on my front yard. When I moved to this HOA neighborhood a year ago, I did everything the right way. I got permission papers paid, extra money for really good security, with lights that turn on when you move laser things that sense stuff, and a speaker that can play anything from pretty music to scary dog sounds. I wasn't being weird, I just learned from my old neighborhood what happens when people step all over your space. What I didn't think would happen was having an enemy right here. Someone who thought my private gate was like her own front door. Linda was the type of person who wore dark sunglasses inside the house and said hi with, "I'm the boss" voice of this HOA. Nobody picked her to be the boss, but she came to everyone's door with welcome gifts and rule books she made herself. The day I moved in, she walked onto my porch and called me Evan, and when I said my name was Ethan, she just waved her hand and said, "Whatever, close enough." She gave me a bunch of papers with rules she had marked up with purple pen. I said thanks and threw it in a drawer without reading it. That was my first big mistake. For a while, everything was quiet. I kept my grass nice, didn't have loud parties, and even fixed a broken streetlight the HOA didn't care about. Linda left me alone, and I gave her no reason to bother me. A paper in my mailbox saying I had too many. Weeds in my garden, a warning stuck to my trash can for not putting the lid on right. Then, while waving at me, she said, "It's nice to have neighbors who do what they're told." I should have said something back, but I didn't. That was mistake number 2. The real problem started 3 weeks before the gate thing happened. I just made my system better with new secret numbers that only the fire people, police, and delivery guys knew. Not even my sister had them, but all of a sudden strangers kept showing up. A lady in workout clothes walked into my backyard thinking it was a way to get to the neighborhood pool. A kid knocked on my garage door asking if this was where the cookout was. A pizza guy tried to give me someone else's food. Every time I asked how they got in. Every time the answer was Linda, I went to talk to her in her front yard while she was moving her flower pots around by how tall they were. "Linda, did you give out my gate numbers?" I asked, trying to stay calm. She blinked, like she forgot who I was. "Oh, that," she said, waving her hand. "People asked and I thought it was okay. We're all neighbors, right?" I told her the numbers were private. She lifted her shoulders and said, "It's not like it's your social security number." She was so sure of herself, like she really believed she could just ignore what I wanted. I asked her to stop. She gave a fake smile and went back to her flowers. I changed the numbers, fixed the system, and thought that was it. I was wrong. The morning. I saw Linda, and those kids walk through my gate on my phone. Camera showed she wasn't just ignoring me. She was fighting me. If she wanted to make this personal, I'd play her game. But the way I wanted to, I didn't run over to her house or scream. Got sneaky. Getting back at someone like Linda, who never says sorry, needs you to be really smart. She loved being in control but hated looking stupid in front of people. So I looked through old emails and found the neighborhood list she'd sent out, with her emergency HOA phone number. Her personal cell phone. I changed my gate numbers to her 10-number phone number, a trick so sneaky it was brilliant. Nobody would figure it out unless they knew her, and people who did wouldn't dare use it wrong. Then I made a sign that was polite and didn't say much. Gate numbers changed for neighborhood kindness. For access, call Linda HOA helper. I covered it in plastic zip, tied it to the number pad, and waited. In just a few hours, her phone was ringing. Like crazy. A delivery driver called her when the sun came up. A neighbor's cousin texted her at midnight. By lunch, she had tons of missed calls and messages from angry people who couldn't get in. She ran across her yard with a red face screaming into her phone about people bothering her. I drank coffee on my porch watching her go crazy. The best part, I hadn't broken a single rule. The numbers were safe, people could get access. She just had to deal with the mess she'd made. Linda didn't take the punishment quietly. She fought back with mean little tricks. First, a bright yellow note showed up on my gate saying I'd broken a fake gate seeing rule. It was printed on cheap paper with spelling mistakes, a clear sign it wasn't real. I scanned it and emailed it to the HOA bosses with the title, "This is funny." Then came a city ticket saying I was running an illegal business from my garage. I work from home making games, not really a crime. The city guy who came to check took one look at my stuffed computer screens, a tiny fridge, some toy figures, and laughed. "Sorry, man." He said, "We've gotten a lot of these lately. Same handwriting. I check my cameras every day now." They caught Linda hanging around my gate once, even trying to break open the number pad with her fingernails, while a kid watched looking bored. I'd added a break-in alert to the system, so when she tried a message, flashed breaking detected video sent to HOA lawyers. Her face when she saw it was amazing. Eyes big mouth open. She turned around and walked home really fast, finally quiet. Her next move was an angry post on the neighborhood website accusing some mystery person of computer bullying. It was clearly about me, but neighbors started asking questions. Some told her off directly. Maybe leave Ethan alone. One wrote Linda deleted the post and locked the website, but the damage was done. Her power was going away. A neighbor, Sarah, came to my door with a bottle of wine and a story Linda had done similar mean things before. Finding people guilty of fake rule breaking, letting her own projects happen, even trying to kick someone out for an ugly mailbox. I was just the first one to fight back hard, so I did even more. I put in a new camera with a wide view and a sign, "Gate watch 24/7, please smile." I set my system to buzz my watch if anyone hung around the number pad. Every alert showed Linda or her friends snooping, getting mad in their own confusion. I didn't need to do anything, just let them drown in it. Linda's desperation got worse with a gift basket left. On my porch, old cookies, a cheap candle, and a note begging to not let a number pad divide us. I sent a photo to a group chat of neighbors who'd also fought with her, writing, "This is sad." They laughed, but I knew she wasn't finished when being nice and being mean failed. She'd go crazy. Sure enough, a fancy gold letter came announcing an emergency HOA meeting to talk about complaints against me. Linda had taken it to her favorite fighting place, paperwork and meetings. I smiled because I was ready. The meeting happened in the neighborhood clubhouse. A boring room with bad coffee and folding chairs. Linda walked in like a politician, red jacket and folder in hand, saying hi to the bosses with fake friendliness. The room buzzed with curious neighbors. She talked for 7 minutes, calling me mean, unfriendly, and dangerous to neighborhood happiness. She said my cameras made everyone scared. It was like a show. Pauses, fake crying. Everything. When she finished, I stood up, opened my laptop, and said, "Let me show you what really happened." I played the videos Linda letting strangers through my gate, teaching a kid to mess with the number pad. Her fake warnings next to real HOA letters. I showed the city complaint with her handwriting. Her deleted website rant. The room went silent except for a few gasps. I didn't yell or brag, just showed the facts. "I've never broken a rule," I said. "All I did was protect my home, and now I'm the bad guy." The bosses looked really shocked. Linda sat frozen, face bright red. Then came a surprise. "Mr. Thompson?" A quiet old man stood up. "Linda gave me the numbers months ago," he said. "Told me Ethan was okay with it. She's done this to other people too." He told everyone she'd let someone have a party on my property without asking. The room turned against her. The head boss asked if she'd shared the numbers without permission. She stuttered, but it was over. They punished her, and in a weird twist asked me to join a group about gate safety. Linda's attack had gone really wrong. She didn't stop. A week later, a news truck parked outside the clubhouse, Linda folders in hand. Walked a reporter around telling a story of being hurt by my computer spying. She called my system government-level watching. I watched from across the street drinking coffee. Then I texted the reporter Jake, an old school friend, I didn't say who I was, and asked why the numbers were her phone number. Right in the middle of talking, he asked Linda. She froze, mumbling about privacy. Jake pushed her about sharing the numbers without asking. Her story fell apart. The TV show aired that night called Neighborhood Computer Wars, making her look like the bad guy. It became famous online with comments tearing her apart. More complaints came to the HOA, Linda faking votes, bothering neighbors, even telling a disabled soldier his special van was ugly. The bosses had enough. I met them privately, showing my folder. Every video, note, and picture. They made a new privacy group, took away Linda's job, and she disappeared from the next meeting. Then came a stop-it letter from a lawyer saying I was lying. About her, I sent it to my friend, a real lawyer, who laughed and wrote a response proving Linda had no case. I slipped it into her mailbox and walked away. Months went by and the neighborhood calmed down. The gate system now, with changing numbers, worked perfectly. Linda's saying, "It's fine," became a neighborhood joke. But she had one last trick. Shiny flyers showed up announcing a Take Back Our Neighborhood meeting in her yard. She stood there in a white outfit, preaching to 30 neighbors about HOA corruption and my bullying I showed. Up late, arms crossed. Then the crowd turned. "Didn't you share his numbers?" one asked. "Was it your phone number?" Another pushed. I stepped forward calmly, telling every rule break, every fix. I didn't do this to win. I said I did it, so nobody else has to fight for peace. Silence fell. Linda flipped through her folder, speechless. People left, some thanking me. Her yard emptied. Linda moved out soon after. A moving truck sat by her house as she watched, defeated. A mover asked for the gate numbers. She stared at the number pad, then at my camera, and drove off without saying anything. The gate closed with a quiet click. I'd won, not by being as mean as her, but by lasting longer than her craziness. The neighborhood breathed free. I added a screen. To the gate. Access given by respect, not entitlement. Everyone got the joke. A neighbor gave me a mug, gatekeeper of sanity. I smiled because it wasn't about the gate. It was about standing strong, proving respect isn't taken, it's earned. And once it's lost, no numbers can unlock it.